It's your girl, Javy. High Priestess. Back at it again with the general tarot reading for Taurus. Sun, Moon, and Rising for Cancer season 2023. And baby, let me tell you, there is going to be an unlocking in your throat. And you gonna feel today. How you feel, what's happening, what has been pushed down, what's been suppressed will be coming up. Whether it's emotionally, what is it, word vomit, or there could be reaching back to exes, making amends, attempting to atone for things. I don't know why I'm getting the AA making amends kind of thing. So that could just be something that's coming in, but I just feel like Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, Taurus rules the throat, and you guys can think all the things and feel all the things, but getting that out and expressed will always be an obstacle for you guys, and something that you've got that's effortful for you. It doesn't have to be an obstacle if you educate yourself and if you do your part to, acknowledge and therefore break and, alter your cycles. But I feel like, it's funny, I felt it, I leaned into your energy and I went out to just feeling your shit, and it was just ooh, even breathing clearer. Some of you may have been struggling with some respiratory stuff, and I feel like that's really lightening up or clearing up in some sort of way. If there is any respiratory stuff going on, garlic and oregano oil supplements. You're welcome. Hydrate, light it if you got it. This is the season of cardinal water. Welcome to summer. Happy summer solstice, and you need, make sure you're giving yourself more water than fucking alcohol or White Claw or whatever the fuck. Patreon gets everything first, patreon.com/justjeverything. Be sure to check out your Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you want to look at the free shit that I do, check out my Instasham at justj_everything, TikTok at justjeverything, and for other dope shit that I do, my website, justjeverything.com. All the links are in the description box below. I feel like I'm giving a lot of titty. I didn't mean to do this anyway. We're just going for it. Be sure to check out the Cancer season astrology video as well. That has all the important astrological dates that you need to know. But ultimately, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, what you really need to know is the last day of Cancer season, July 22nd. Your ruling planet, Venus, retrogrades. I just saw 3:33 on the clock. Retrogrades in Leo. And Leo is the sign of I will. And it's interesting because I feel like in Cancer season, you've been processing a lot of the Venus and Gemini transit. And when we go into Leo season, you're going to be processing a lot of this, and this retrograde has a lot to do with the Venus and Cancer transit that just happened. And so, I mean, what we know about Venus. Venus is love, art, money, and beauty, and symmetry, and all those things. But Venus is attraction. And so when Venus retrogrades, we will be reevaluating all of those themes. So it's time to go back to the drawing board and reevaluate love. And with Leo, how you express love. Taurus, how you express love. How you spend your money. How you spend money on other people. How you spend money in competition. Trying to keep up with the Joneses. That kind of stuff. attraction, who you were attracted to, why, who you attract in, the caliber of friends, professional experiences or professional opportunities, the caliber of lovers that you've attracted in. It's time to just time to evaluate all that stuff. It's time to look at the data. And it's almost like this setup, this like beautiful like setup that you're getting with Venus retrograding in Leo, the sign of I will. Leo is all things romance, creativity, children, sports, self-expression, art. So it's reevaluating all of those things and how you communicate, how you experience those things in your life, or if you allow yourself to. And so it's almost like this reevaluation is happening so that when Venus goes into Virgo, which is Venus in Virgo is the 9 of Pentacles, there's this independence, there's this stability, there's this and I feel like when Venus goes into Virgo, finally, the sign of I analyze, you won't be analyzing all this old shit that you already have been you know what I mean? I feel like there's just this final, Cancer is the end of the matter. And this Venus retrograde in Leo, I feel like really helps you see a way out, how to hop off the cycle, how to turn the infinity sign into an ampersand where there's an exit off this bitch. You know what I mean? You can finally break the loop. You can get out of the cycle, the 2 of Pentacles loop, the 8 of Swords. You can break out of the cycle. And that's the worst thing about the 8 of Swords is the binds are fucking loose. Yo, it's put a little fucking effort, put a little umphin into it, and you'd be able to break out of the binds, take the blindfold off, and you'd see none of these swords are even impaling you. Anyway. Hydrate. Light it if you got, you know what? Because it's time to get into it. As I welcome my benevolent ancestors, Mother God, Father God, Mother Earth, thanking you. So grateful to you for the most useful, helpful, and divinely aligned messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Cancer season 2023. Remember that you can breathe. Remember that you can control how much anxiety you hold in your body. You can control how you feel by way of it's like you don't, how is it put? It's put perfectly in Psycho-Cybernetics. Maxwell Waltz says it. It's just there's something about the relaxation of your muscles. You don't have to experience, or you don't have to respond to stimuli necessarily. You won't you won't respond, or you won't a registerable response can't be provided from a fully relaxed body. And so there's something about training yourself, how you reply to, or how you respond to stimuli, how you respond to triggers. Maybe that's what that is. It's trying to come through. And it makes sense that there's all this Gemini, mercurial stuff that's coming up. I just feel like you're getting more masterful in your mind somehow. So Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, empty your lungs. Take a deep breath through your nose and hold it at the top when you're ready. And then exhale out of your mouth whenever you're ready. I felt them flip over before I looked. And that's what I'm saying. You're going to feel today. You're going to think clearly. You're going to heal. First cards out are the Nine of Swords and then the Nine of Wands and then the Knight of Swords. And with the Nine of Wands being the first card out, to be clarified on the selenite throne is your relationship to your mental health, your relationship to frustration. There is an ending of a cycle in how you exert your physical, spiritual, and sexual energy. There may be an ending of a cycle with or initiated by someone with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius placements. I do feel like there could be like an argument or someone that's very like combative and or argumentative. You may be feeling very combative and argumentative. Leo, I'm telling you, Mars, I'm ruled by Mars, and Mars has been in Leo, and I have been, my like mouth, I'm just like keeping myself in the fucking house at this point. I'm only talking to people that like I deeply love and who understand me and like can, you know, comprehend my tone, but it's just like I'm doing so much regulation and it just feels like it's still coming out really sharp. It's still coming out low and or sometimes high key. Self-righteous as fuck. And I was having a conversation about that. Like, I know that I'm self-righteous, but I feel like what I'm self-righteous about within myself are really respectable values. And anyway, there's something here about like acknowledging what has been frustrating you, acknowledging the fact that some of you, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, some of you have not been really allowing yourself to take advantage of the resources available to you. It's like your brother owns a gym and you can go full time to the gym, you know what I mean, for free, but you don't do it. Or you, you know, like know the best therapist in the state, but you lie to yourself, so you lie to your therapist and don't tell them the truth and you don't make real progress. You have the opportunity to go to college for free, but you're stubborn and you want to do everything on your, you know what I mean? There's something here about like, are you taking advantage of the resources that are available to you? There may be some sort of radical shift of the mind that's coming in, someone that is really making an impact on you by way of frustrating you, challenging you, calling you out, or really like passionately educating you or passionately informing you, someone that's inspiring you possibly in some sort of way to really reevaluate your relationship to intimacy, reevaluate your relationship to nakedness, reevaluating your relationship to surrender. Ultimately, with the star at the bottom of the deck, the star ultimately is about surrender and giving into the divine flow of things, and not only the divine flow of things, but allowing yourself to be guided. And be guided by a luminary, being guided by celestial bodies, being guided by a higher force, being guided by the God of your understanding, whatever that may be. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, either way, you are having a shift in the mind. There has been some sort of shift in the mind. I feel like some of you also, ooh, wow. King of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups on the bottom of the deck. King of Pentacles is Sun in Taurus, and so there is, especially you with Taurus Suns and Taurus Risings, I feel like. For you, there is this influx of love. There is this influx of like compassion, new depth in your relationships, new depth in your spirituality, but you've got to broach your shadow. You've got to access your darkness first. You've got to like, it's like siphon out the darkness to make room for like the love to be poured in. It's almost like pouring out this like molasses, you know what I mean? And pouring that out, I feel like for a lot of you, it has to do with like acknowledging, you know, what you're sorry for, or this could just be like there could be closure coming in, or you providing closure. There could be like just important conversations that are being had, but you really need to be mindful of your tone. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising with the Knight of Swords, he can sometimes like drive a point home too fucking hard. And so be careful of like going too fast, talking too fast, being really inconsiderate or careless with your words, and it putting you in a position where you hurt someone, or you're creating tension, especially when you are communicating to people with fire or air placements. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. All right. Let's keep going for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For for Cancer season, excuse me. Yeah, that, ooh, Temperance at the center of the reading. Yeah, I'm telling you, you will be feeling today. A lot of you are recovering from like dealing with someone with Pisces or Sagittarius placements. There could be something here about really healing from an upsetting situation. The ways that you heal, the ways that you cope. For some of you, this has to do with like numbing versus recovery, drinking too much, smoking too much, and some numbing agent getting in the way of your actual emotions flowing properly. You may be, you or someone around you may be like an extreme taker, or maybe displaying narcissistic tendencies in some sort of way. And I say that because the dandelions that are showing up here, and the Latin name for dandelions is narcissist. And so that person may have Sagittarius, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio placements. You may have Sagittarius, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio placements. And there's just need for reflection. There is need for, like, it's time to give yourself better tools to recover. And that may be therapy. It may be some sort of spiritual ritual. It may be reaching out to, you know, your ancestors, or being more, I feel like also there's something here about being more discerning in the spirit realm. You don't need to be out here doing everybody's spell, believing in everybody's thing, just willy-nilly with your spirit and your like auric energy. Be careful of, I just feel like there is this profound journey back to empowerment, profound journey back, or journey into a different level of greatness. And what is that term? There's something about the wheat from the tare. There's something that's scriptural. But there, I feel like for some of you, there's something here about like separating the wheat from the tare. Google that. Look it up. See what that means for you. I don't know where that came from. Ooh. Thank you. Just what I needed. Final two cards, final two messages. This is how I flipped them up. Was Judgment reversed and Seven of Wands reversed. I feel like let go or be fucking dragged. Either way, you gonna learn today how to emote, how to feel, how to properly express yourself, how to differentiate your emotions from your intuition, how to really prioritize your truth over everybody else's comfortability. There's something here about learning a new type of intimacy, a new access to spirit. With the Temperance card and Judgment reversed, I just feel like you're misjudging yourself, you're misjudging other people. There could be miscommunications. There could be a lot of conflict. There could be like a lot of arguing, or just like big blowouts, or there's something here about like with judgment reverse, it's like you're not listening to your spirit. You're not taking heed on the calling on your life in some sort of way. Some of you are operating in your purpose and operating in your mission, but I feel like your image may not match your like day-to-day ethics and principles in some sort of way, or like your behavior. And that's not for everybody, but it's like your behavior in some way doesn't reflect what you preach. It's time to practice what you preach. I feel like that's a big thing, practicing what you preach and looking at what aspects of you need to die, what need to fall apart, what needs to fall away or be like separated. There's something, yeah, that's what I meant, like the wheat from the tare in some sort of way. And I also want to point out the wings, like as the expansion above and the expansion below. So there may be someone, are you, okay, you're opposite. Scorpio showing up, so I feel like there's a lot of like shadowy activity that's going on, and that makes sense. You guys are still recuperating from, you know, these eclipses that have been on your axis. You've had a, you know, solar and lunar eclipses on your axis, and I mean, of course, and I just feel like the below is of the above, and the above is of the fucking below. Some of you are experiencing these blessings cloaked in crisis. Some of you have ran or like removed yourself from situations, and like spirit's not done with your lesson there, or you're not done with this, or this thing's not done with you yet. And so there is some sort of like a need to get off the fence, a need to speak the truth, a need to set things right. There's something about like absolution or atonement or healing your relationship to those concepts. Healing your relationship to the concept of sin and shame and expansion as well. Like how spread out are your wings allowed to be? Some of you, like, you don't let your wings fully extend. You won't let yourself fully fly. Something subconsciously just is like, all right, I can have these wings. All right, I can flex these motherfuckers, but I won't let myself do anything but, you know, just like flutter. When you have full capacity to fly, honey, to fly, darling. And for some of us, there's this like profound expansion in the underbelly of our psyche and like our shadow. I feel like other people are really bringing you the truth, or other people. That's the thing. It's funny. I had this specific debate with a Taurus. And I think we both are right. Where I believe that if you allow yourself to go deep enough, if you're self-aware enough, if you do enough work, you are privy to more of your shadow than the average bear. But according to like Jung, you don't have access to your shadow. And I just feel like in the liminal spaces, you do. I feel like when you are kicking it with people who are in your soul family, in your soul tribe, in your group, because true love comes with correction, you get to see your shadow. The people who really fuck with you, the people who really love you, aren't just going to sit around and let you be mediocre. But not always does that information or that correction come in the way or the package or the delivery that we'd wanted. And also, do we rarely give it in the package that other people would prefer it to be in as well? And so give and extend grace, receive grace, but there is something here about like an access, about an expansion above the ground, an expansion in like I want to say like the dunya, in the like in this world. It's in like an Arabic word for the, I don't know if that's Arabic. It's not Sanskrit. Either way, it's a word. It means like the lowest like part of earth. It's just like this earthly world and our possessions. I feel like in your the sign of I have, you know what I mean? Taurus governs like money, possessions, mine. You know what I mean? Values. And I just feel like because of people around you who are challenging you because of information, because of technology, because of education. You have expanded above in such a way that the divine's like, yo, like, we got to tend to all of you. It's like you can't just spiritually skip leg day. You know what I mean? And I hope that that makes sense. I hope that so there's something about like your current flow, how you, there will be an outpouring of emotion. And I feel like it's really positive for you to, or it will be really beneficial for you to get out of defense mode, for you to stop, like, you know, running up on everybody, or for you to stop isolating, and for you to really listen to some of the criticism that's coming in, listen to the and also it's like there's something about starting to love yourself enough to be able to discern what is constructive criticism versus someone being cruel or mean. And if you're hearing the same thing over and over and over, we got to get out of this like blame game thing where it's just like, it's them, they're crazy, they're mean, they don't like me. Bruh. Come on. If the same movie is getting the same review over and over and over, there's gonna be a shred of truth. There's gotta be a shred of truth to that. So, and maybe I don't struggle with constructive criticism because I went to an art school, and so I learned at a very early age. And also, like, my parents are Black, like, everything, like, as a Black person and a person of color, like, everything is critiqued, you know, constantly. And so when you're used to being constantly critiqued, A, you have to be adaptable as fuck, but B, there's something about, like, the thickening of your skin and understanding who actually is qualified to penetrate. And I feel like you are around some people, or have had some people in your life who are qualified to penetrate your armor, who were qualified to, like, whatever they said, it's like you need to reevaluate, like, take the blindfold off and allow yourself to, like, tend to your mind, tend to where you're going to harness this physical, spiritual, and sexual energy. Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck. There is definitely something here. 3 Wands cards coming out. 3 fire cards in the reading. 3 out of 5. And so I feel like there's a healthy balance, but there is stuff here with fire. So there may be someone with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements that you're going towards, or if that is the case, I would suggest making bold movements, especially if this is some sort of like soul situation. Wow. And I'm only giving you this because your ruling planet's about to retrograde. But the Knight of Wands is like, hey, slow down. You're going too fast. Check yourself before you fucking wreck yourself. Or for some of you, hey, it looks like you bumped your head hard enough for you to realize, hey, I've got to end how I'm behaving, or I've got to observe my behavior. My behavior has caused enough like damage, or I've been reckless enough to like, hey, let me just stand still and take a look at things. Let me just like assess the situation. And I think, and beautiful. Thank you for doing that. I feel like you're taking the time, and I would prefer you do it voluntarily so that the divine doesn't have to like drag you into uncomfortable situations for you to acknowledge it. But either way, it's time to make bold moves into moving away from like childish behavior or immature behavior. I feel like it's time to boldly move into the evaluation of how maybe how your childhood impacted you. Like if you've already done that analysis, then it's time to like look at things at another level or from like a higher level or a different perspective. Because Nine of Pentacles, like I said, Venus and Virgo, Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups says if you play your cards right, if you harness if you harness your physical, spiritual, and sexual energy in a new direction, if you allow yourself to be bold, if you start to communicate and can be consistent about communing with your inner child and your inner teen, like your life will change. If you start to evaluate, I feel like those, yeah, because there is some sort of like ending of a cycle in the realm of the mind that's going to initiate this brand new beginning. And you can really start to like push out all of the darkness, all the heaviness that you've been experiencing, because I feel like some of you are exhausting yourself with how like defensive you are. And I feel like there will be some sort of opposition if you don't learn how to surrender, if you don't let yourself surrender. There will be like, I just feel like things get harder, things get more strenuous if you don't learn how to surrender to like your truth, if you don't let yourself speak your truth. Now we've got 2 major arcana and 1 core card, and so I feel like in the beginning of Cancer season, once you really start prioritizing yourself and your mental health in a different way, it's going to start to, you're going to start seeing life through a different lens, and you're going to start looking at the people that you are paired with or partnered with, the people that you're working for, the people who you've distanced yourself from. You're going to be seeing things with a very different lens after you self-prioritize in a healthy way for some time. And I just feel like that's going to put you in this position where you may be coming off as really combative to other people, when maybe this is just like a self-preservation thing. But also some of you are telling yourself, oh, this is my self-preservation tactic, or this is what I do to keep myself safe. And that is outdated. It's stemmed from childhood. It's like you're still responding to certain things the way that you did when you were a child or when you were a teenager in some sort of way. And it just feels like, hey, let's pour the cups out. Let's empty out life. Let's clear the fucking slate so that we can recalibrate and that we can form a new foundation. Because the divine is moving, come hell or high water. Let go or be dragged. Either way, you're moving towards being way more vulnerable, open, communicative, and you will be someone who is living a very purpose and spirit-based life. And so like intuition-based life. And so you're needing to really understand that, like, you trying to maintain the high ground that you've gained, or you trying to maintain a certain image, or have people look at you certain way, or blah, 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 whatever the fuck, all that shit is a farce. That shit's an illusion. And it's like, just act right. And listen to a point where you start to get familiar with the sensation of your spirit. And if that means like distancing yourself from friends, from like doing less work, whatever, it's time to prioritize your connection to yourself. Because you can't keep making logical decisions where spiritual decisions need to be made. You know, there's just something here about like Taurus, sun, moon, and rising, like your relationship to your wings and how high you let yourself fly. It's giving Icarus. I'll see you over on Patreon. Patreon.com/justjeverything. let's get into
For
it.
the full version of the video, go to Patreon.